Situated above an amusement arcade in Glasgow's Trongate, the Britannia Panopticon Theatre is thought to be the oldest surviving music hall in the UK. Originally constructed in 1857, the building housed not just music hall entertainment, but also freak shows, waxworks, a rooftop carnival, and even a zoo. The hall's most famous claim to fame is giving a young Stan Laurel his stage debut, aged just 16, in 1906. Judith Bowers, from the Britannia Music Hall Trust, tells us about how the famous comic came to make his stage debut in the Glasgow Hall.
By the age of 15, Stan had decided that he'd learned everything school could possibly teach him, so he'd skive off school in the afternoon. His dad was the manager of the Scotia Music Hall on Stockwell Street, so he couldn't sneak into the Scotia Music Hall to watch, or Metropole as it was then called, to watch the afternoon shows, so he would sneak in here instead for the 2:30 afternoon matinee. And this is where he saw characters like W.F. Frame, who was one of his heroes. And what he would do is he would watch the act and he would memorise everything. He would memorise the delivery of the joke, the body language, the facial expression, the costume, and of course the material itself. Now, Stan had moved up from Ulverston with his family a few years previously when his dad had taken over the Metropole. So he still had that sort of Cumbrian accent when he came in here. And apparently, he approached A.E. Pickard and he said to A.E. Pickard, "Can I perform?" And A.E. Pickard said, "Why?" And so Stan said, "'Cause I'm funny." And that's how he got his first night on the amateur stage in here.
After being used as a clothes factory, a chicken farm, and a leather jacket store, the hall is now in the process of being restored to its former glory, with the public now able to go on a tour of the building and get a fascinating glimpse of Glasgow's past.
Well, most of the clothing that you see on the dummies, a couple of pieces have been donated by people, like our beautiful 1920s wedding dress with the wedding photograph that goes with it. And the other costumes that you see are Graham Hunter's private collection. Graham Hunter specialises in vintage, well, period costume for big movies. So he specialises in period costume and consults quite a lot on period costume. And we're just lucky to have him because he always does a lovely display for us. He's got the largest collection in Scotland. Our regular events are our bi-monthly Laurel and Hardy night, and our music hall shows are always at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock on the last Saturday and Sunday of the month. And as we always say with Britannia Music Hall, admission is free, but we might charge you to get back out again, because it's the only auditorium in the world really that can actually show the evolution from early music hall through to early cinema through to cine variety, and then of course as the Panopticon, a multimedia space, I suppose you could say.